Okay. So thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. No guest today, but either way, we'll be good. So today I'm going to be talking about home brewing. This is the second speech that I gave on home brewing. The first one that I gave, I called it Home Brewing 101, where I talked about what the ingredients are and what the process is to pretty much make beer. So just as a recap, beer is made from grains. Show and tell this time, since I'm here. But it's made from grains, hops, yeast, which I have it in the package somewhere here, but most importantly, water, not vodka. So you use all of those. You grab the sugar from the grains. You add hops to add aroma, preservatives, and some flavor to it. It all gets boiled in water, and then once you have that sugary, hoppy water, you throw in yeast, and the yeast will convert the sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide. So this time I'm going to talk a little bit more about the brewing equipment. So for instance, there's multiple ways to do it with extract brewing as well as with actual grains, which is the step that I'm doing right now. So for all grain, you need 3 vessels. You need a kettle, which is where you're going to be doing most of the boil. You need a lautering tun, which is just to heat up water really. And then you need some sort of cooler to be able to hold all of the grains and for around 30 minutes at a certain water temperature, so that it grabs all of those, extracts all of those sugars, which then gets drained out into the kettle. So, there is also, so that's pretty much the process, right? Throw in the grains into your mash tun, heat up water, throw it in there, let it soak for a while, extract those grains, and then funnel it into here. There's several ways. There's several ways to funnel it. So this one, I have an attachment so that it just opens up and closes. But you can also get a auto siphon, which is this right here. And pretty much it goes in, and you press this, and it sucks up the wort, which is what they call it. It's not quite beer yet, but it's water, sugar, and that part is called wort. But it sucks it into the kettle, and it pretty much just uses gravity to move the liquid around. From there, this is when you throw in the hops. You boil it for around an hour. And the next step after that is to cool it as fast as possible. So there's many ways to do it. You cannot throw, at that point, you don't want to contaminate it with bacteria, so you can't just throw in ice to cool it down. You need to cool it down from the outside. So you can either put it in an ice bath, stick it in the sink with a bunch of ice if your sink is big enough, or you can get a tub, put it into there. But there's also equipment like this one, and that's pretty much a wort chiller. So it's just a funnel with hoses connected on the side. You run cold water in. The copper is naturally disinfecting, so it won't transfer any bacteria into your wort, so you don't really need to do anything. You don't need to sterilize it or anything. Well, you should wash it, but yeah, you could pretty much use it right away. From there, you would move it into your fermenter. So if you're doing a smaller batch, you could use something similar to this. So it's just a glass carboy and a rubber stop, and then you have an airlock on top of here, which I'll show you in a bit. And you just let it sit for 2 weeks or maybe more. This is when all of the yeast is converting those sugars into gas. That gas will, wait, who's the one with the cards? Sorry, I should have looked
You
that up.
had 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, So it'll expel the CO2, and you let it sit in here until it eats up all the sugar, it creates all the alcohol, and at this point you have beer. And from this point, then you could use this auto siphon again, but a smaller one because that one won't fit into here, to bottle it into your bottles. And you have a cap, and you can get one of these bottling devices that just simply goes onto it. And with a little bit of pressure, it's now capped. Throughout this entire process, you can take measurements to be able to tell how much alcohol is in it. So that's what this is for. This is just apple juice for it's not beer, so don't worry. And you could use a tool like this called a hydrometer. And so it's got markings on it, and 00, which is up here, I don't know if you can see it, the quality is good enough, is pretty much water. And the more sugar it has, the higher it'll go up. So for instance, let's go.
50 seconds left.
You could tell. So from the beginning to the end, the difference, you'll be able to calculate how much sugar got converted into alcohol. Thank you.